Good morning, everyone. Oh, sorry, good afternoon, everyone. We are very sorry for the inconvenience. We had some issues with the meeting earlier on. How is our weekend going? And I pray that we are able to learn from today's meeting, and our lecturer is ready to take us. And if there's any issue with your assignment on the group chat on the Slack channel, once again, we're very sorry for the inconvenience. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, once again, sorry for the delay. We were having a bit of technical issues, but we've been able to sort that out. So let's just give like 5 minutes so that let's get the other participants in the room. Then once we have, like I said, I can see there are just about 11 people here now. So let's just give a leeway of 5 minutes because of the delay we had. So once it's 5 minutes, in 5 minutes time, then we'll start the class. Thank you. Good afternoon once again. I think okay, it's 5 minutes now. So let's start the class. Okay. So once again, it's nice to have everybody back. So I'd like us to start with a recap of what we did last week. So so that we don't have a crowdy session, let's go into the chat and let's one or two people give us a recap of what we did last week before we start. Hello.
Very, very. Hello. Hello, everyone. Our lecturer said if one can assist us with a recap of the last class. In the chat box, the last class, before we start today's class. Please drop it on the chat.
Since we broke up, it's good to see he's getting back on the horse. But that horse is my ex-wife. I got the bouquet.
Yeah, Mr. Habib, some people have dropped, some of the trainings have dropped the recap of last class on the chat box. Creating table using SQL, inserting data into the columns and the likes. Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh yes, I'm actually monitoring the chat.
Mr. Habib.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I just wanted to call your attention to it.
No, I've actually been
All right.
monitoring the chat myself, so I can see
Okay.
what everybody's dropping. I asked the question, do everybody?
All right.
So, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. That's actually good. I think from the chat I can see everybody at least was able to catch up with what we did last week. So this week we're going to go through we'll continue from where we stopped. Bringing in you to understand more MySQL syntax and functions and all of that. So today, we're going to run through these items. We're going to look at the select clause, the where clause, comparison operators, combination operators. We're going to look at the in operator, between operator. We're going to look at the like operator, is null operator, and order by operator. Okay, so let's get to it. So I have a table here that I want to expose to you. This is an orders table. Basically, it shows there's an ID column, there's a first name, last name, email address, gender, the customer's location, and number of orders per customer. So like we did last week, we're able to query the table to get the number of orders we have. So we used this query, select all. And remember, I said once you see these asterisks in any SQL statement, that means you are trying to get everything from that table. So we use select all from order sales. The schema is sales, and then the table name is orders. So it gave us this. Okay. So when we're talking about the select clause, so this table now, we said we want to see everything. That means we are pulling all the columns, we are pulling all the rows. So, but when it comes to the select clause, you can be specific with the select statement. So what I'm saying is, maybe all you want to see in this table, you just want to know the customer's first names and the agendas, or you just want to know the customer's IDs and their names. Okay, you just want to be specific in the columns you want to see. You don't want to pull all the data. It could be as a result of maybe you have a table that has as much as 30 columns and you're only interested in 5 or 10. So you can be more precise in what you see. So in times like this, what you do is you create a select statement and then you specify what you'd like to see. So for here now, let's say we want to see the first name. Would like to see the gender. Okay. First name and gender of the customers. Okay. We say from orders. So we can see now what our result is. Our result is just picking the first name and the genders of the customers on this table. We're not selecting, or we're not seeing all the other tables, all the other columns we could see before. So that's basically what the select clause does. It gives you the ability to be able to pick the columns you want to see. Okay, so you have a table and you want to see just a particular set of rows. You are only interested, you are not working with all the data on that row. You are just on the table, just want some specific columns. You can actually assign and say, okay, you want to see just one column, you want to see just two columns or three, if you don't want to see everything. So that's basically what you can do with the select clause. Okay, now, so that's just the simple and short of select clause. It just gives you the ability to move, to be able to select the columns you want to see. You don't have to pull the whole data, and if that's not what you need to use for your analysis. So then I give a little insight about the where clause. So what the where clause does is it allows you to be a bit more granular in what you want to see overall in your tables. In your table, it gives you that ability to be able to be more granular. You've seen the gender now. We have the first name and the genders, but we want to be specific. We want to know the genders. For example, now we want to know if these people here want to know the males that are in this particular category of this with this query. We have both male and female, but we want to see how many males do we have, or let's even want to see the females that are actually on this our table. With this data, we want to see, okay, we want to see their names, their genders. But now I want to see how many females, what do we have females here? So now we can be more specific and use the where clause that says where female is equal to, now you want to assign a value. Where gender, okay, we're picking the column now that we want to see the attributes, the attributes in that column. Okay, I want to see where the gender is equal to female. Let's close this and run. So now we can see that with this query right now, with our where clause, we've gone a further step more granular. What we had earlier was the first name and the gender. So we have both male and female. But now we want to see just the females. We are not interested in the males or whatever other categories of gender could have been on the table. We're just interested in seeing the females. So now the where clause can help you do that. Okay, so now with this query, now you can see that the table that is being generated now with this query is only showing us the females. We are not seeing any male here. Rather than the previous one that we did without the where clause, that shows us everybody. We can see both male, female, there are even genders, they say polygender and all of that. So we can see everything. But if you want to be more granular with your analysis, with what you are querying, you want to see exactly what each column contains, you can now be more granular and use a where clause. Now, using this where clause, we have operators that you can use with the where clause. That's what we're talking about, the comparison operators. Okay, now because where clause can be very, very extensive. Okay, you can add a whole lot. You might not just want to see males and female alone. You might also want to know, for example, want to know that, okay, we've seen the male, now we have data for females that in our data set. But the table is actually an orders table. So we want to know how many females have orders that are above 20, or how many females have orders that are less than 20. Okay, we have the females now, but we want to even know how many females have orders that are less than 20. So let's add one more column to this. So we'll be able to see our orders. So we can actually add this and say, okay, and orders, we'll get, okay, so, and orders that are less than 20. So let's run this script and see what we get. So we can see we have the first name, we have the gender, they are females, and everybody here right now have orders that are less than 20. You won't see anyone here that has. Okay, this is one of the things you can do. So now, when we're talking about comparison operators, you can see I listed. Okay, let me share this with them. Okay, so this part shows comparison. We have equal to, we have greater than, we have less than, we have greater than or equals to, we have less than equals to, and then we have not equals to. So I'm going to explain each and every one of these comparison operators right now. So we have equal to, we have less than, we have greater than, we have less than or equal to, we have greater than equals to, and we have not equal to. So as you can see, the first query I did, I placed the female. I said females equals to, gender equals to female. So you are looking now, what this basically says that you are being just like the mathematical equation saying 1 + 1 equals to this. You are giving it a value, saying you want to see in that particular column values that are this, are equals to this, that are this exact particular character, this exact particular value in your column. You should search each row and give you values straight up. That's what it just means. Equals to means you're just saying, give me this that is equals, that is this. Okay, so it's going to give you only values that are female. Okay, now the other comparison operators, we're talking about less than, just the mathematical expression itself, saying you want to see values. You would most likely use the less than when you're talking about numbers, numeracy. Okay, just our basic mathematics, saying you want to see values that are less than. So the normal maths of less than, greater than. Okay, so if you want to see values that are less than, you can see it will not give you, give you values from 0 to 19, because you have specifically said you want to see values that are less than 20. So it will not give you anything that is above 20. Okay, but now we now have the other operator that says less than or equal, less than and equals to. So basically, just like the mathematical stems, you are saying you should give you values that are less than are also equals to 20. So you're expecting it to give you queries that are from 0 to 20. It will count from 20 downwards. It will give you that value. So let's run this now and see what we get. So we can all see the first time we ran it, we did not see any values that were 20. But you can see here now, this particular shopper has a value of 20. So if there are others that have values of 20, you'd see them there. Okay, so that's what less than and equal to does for you. So if we let's flip the script now, and let's get values that are greater than 20. Remember, just like maths, we are saying it's greater than 20. So we're not expecting it to give us any value that is 20. You're expecting to pick from 21, any value that is above 20. So as you can see here, it will give you all values that are greater than 20. It will give you from 21 to whatever number, infinity, to whatever number that is a maximum on your table, on your data set. It will give you that range from 20, from 21 upwards. So we can also say, okay, we would like to see values that are greater than or equals to 20. So just like I explained earlier, that means you are asking it to give you values that are greater than or equals to 20. So it will look for values that are greater than and also equal to the number you have selected. So that means it's going to pick from 20 to the highest number on your table. Whatever it is that is your highest number on the table, from 20 to that, it will give you. So let's run this now. So we can see, if we look here, we can see 20 would appear. So anybody that is within the range of 20 to the maximum number that we can have, okay, that's what would get with that. Now, the last one we're talking about is the not equal to operator. So basically what this is saying is that you want it to give you values from your table that are not equal to, is the opposite of equal to, that are not that particular value. So if I come here now and put this exclamation mark here, now basically what I've told you now is that you give me the first name, the gender, the orders, okay, from the orders table, where gender is not female. So I'm expecting to give me every other gender that is on this table that is not female, okay, that have placed orders that are above, that are greater than or equals to 20. So let's run this script. So we can see all the females that we had earlier, okay, are no more there. It will exclude females, and it will give us any other thing that is in your table that is not female, that has these values. So it's combining two things, and it's checking for the gender that is not this, that is not female, and does the person, this, whoever these people are that fall into this category, do they have orders that are 20 or greater than 20? So it will bring all of that for you. Okay, so that's it all about comparison operators. You usually, just like what they are supposed to be, comparing, you're using them to create a sort of comparison. There are other operators that are also very useful that with comparison operators. Now we talk about combination operators, that's combining operators. Okay. Let me create that down here. Okay. So we have combining operators. Sort this out. So basically, what combining operators do is you can use them to combine two variables you want to check. Okay, so that's like what I did here. You can see I use the AND operator here. Okay, I'm trying to find out the gender that are not female and have orders that are greater than and equals to 20. So we have used AND. It's going to run the both of them simultaneously. It's going to pick, it's going to look, those two, the query is going to generate for us now is the two logic we have passed must be correct. That means the person must not be female and the person's order must be greater than or equals to 20. So let's have the same. Let me bring this down. I will share this with you after the class. So, okay. Now, for combining operators, okay. Now we have just spoken about the AND operator. Basically, what it does is it's going to bring the values from your first parameter, saying you want to see if the query saying you don't want it to be female and you want them to have orders that are greater than and equals to 20. So we also have the OR. We also have the OR operator. So basically what this does is it picks, saying if the person is not female, okay, but the person has the person has orders above. So now you're telling me that, okay, the person might not be female, but if the person has an order that is above 20, add this person to this query. You are now not being, you are giving, the OR statement gives a sort of, shall I say, it's a bit freer. You are saying a query that is giving MySQL a bit freer, I'm looking for the word. Okay, you're giving it a freer option of what to pick. So if we do this right now, you're telling now that once that person has an order that is 20 and above, bring it, whether female or male. So let's run this query and see what we get. So now you can see that we have females here. Okay, we have females, okay, and we have males, we have non-binaries. We have told MySQL first that give me the gender of people that are not female. And then we're not telling that, but if the person also has an order whether male or female, or whatever gender, if the person has an order that is greater than or equals to 20, add this person to this list, okay? We're not being as specific as when we say and. And is saying if this person is not female and has order that is greater than or equals to 20, that means the two queries, the two expressions must be correct for the and statement. You're expecting the person should not be female and the person must have orders above. But for all, the two statements don't have to be correct. It's going to pick them independently. Let's first get the people that are not female. Then whoever it is that is on this our table that has orders that are greater than or equals to 20, let's add them. So that's why you can see females here. Okay, now, so that's just explaining that. So we can also have the not operator. So the not operator is just like when you're saying not equals to, but you can use it on a broader plane. So for example, I can say I want where gender is not male. Hello, please, just a second. You want to attend to something? Hello, sorry, I'm back. Just was trying to do something. Okay. So like I said, the not operator too is a negating operator. You are using it to tell SQL that you don't want a particular item. Okay, you don't want to see it. You'd like to see something else. You are negating. Sorry, excuse me. You are negating those particular variables from your table. You don't want to see them. Okay, so just like, so let me give an example. Don't let me use this order. Let me use okay, let me bring this back. Control Z. Okay, let's use, I think we have location. So let me add location to this. Sorry, location. Yeah, give me location. Yeah, so let's pick this one. Let's see. Let me use this again. Okay. So, but this time around, let's use location. So, not location was 2. I think we have LA. And so let's use this. Okay. Yeah, this is better. So so basically now, from this script here now, we are saying, give us the first name, give us the person's gender, give us the person's order, okay, and then let's say the person's location. But we're now telling MySQL that we don't want the location to be LA, okay, and we want the gender not to be female, okay? But if the person has 20 and above orders, let's show us those people. So let's run this. So, okay, so this is what we get, okay? Now, one thing about combining operators is that they actually always follow an order, okay? Just like the mathematics order of BODMAS, how you have orders for calculation. So this also follows an order. It doesn't, whatever it is you give it, it executes it based on those preferences. So basically, so if you are running a script and you don't order it properly, you might get a wrong answer. So for example, what I did here now is that I told you that I don't want to see people that are early, okay? But I want their gender, I don't want them to be female, okay? And I want people that are higher than this. Now remember that the OR operator, okay, gives you whatever it is that it can find, okay? Irrespective of whatever it is it had seen earlier here. Irrespective of that, the OR operator is, you are saying whatever it is that has this value that you have selected for your OR operator, it should actually include it, okay? So let's remember that. So basically, because of the way I've ordered it right now, we'll not see anybody that is here that is in early. If we reorder this, we'll most likely get an error. But let's even be sure that we have early in ours. Okay, let's pick a state, one of the abbreviations bringing, and let's remove the other ones. So let me comment this guys out. Okay, so let's see all of this, and let's see the people that are not in, I think CN is, you know what that abbreviation is, but it's a location. Okay, so let's run this script. So if you check this now, okay, we have told it to just bring this for us raw, okay, that we want to see the people that are not in this particular location. We can also do it for the others and say we want to see the not in gender. I think we have non-binary. So you can see, okay, it's also a negating operator. You use it to exclude whatever it is that you don't want to see. Though it, unlike this not equal to, it has a little bit of expansivity, which would actually come to in as the class goes on. So that's that for the combining operators. Then we now talk about the in operators. So yes, here now you would see what makes the not operator different from the not equals to operator. Let me come in this notes. Okay. So let's pick the script we've been using. So we can see our in. So the in operator, basically, you use it to check for values when you have to check for multiple values from a particular column. Basically, that's what it does. So for example, we want to see all the people, all the customers that are from okay, this location, CN, PL, and M and MA. So you could say you want to do something like this and say where location is equal to CN and location is equal to MA and location is equals to is equals to PL. If we run this script, what's the problem? Why are you showing this?
Spelling of the first location.
Okay, yeah. Don't mind me. Let me just drag this. No, sorry. Something is off somewhere. MySQL can be funny when it wants to be. Why are you showing this? Let me bring it here then. Just a second. It doesn't want me to. It's supposed to give us all of them as and don't know updates on some of these things. Why are you not showing this? Huh? Just a second. Features multiple operations. Okay. I'll get around that bug. I don't know why I'm having that issue here, but normally you can, probably because we're actually running it using the same. Sometimes these guys come up with different upgrades that just changes some few things, but okay, so basically this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to see these three. This is not working now for reasons I really don't understand, but I'll look into it why it's not letting me use multiple and for the same column. Maybe MySQL doesn't allow that, but you can use in operator. So basically we say location in, and then we bring the three places that we want to see, CN. We do MA, and then we say PL. Okay, if we run this, should have an answer. Yeah. So basically what you use the in operator to do is when you want to see multiple values from a particular column. So rather than splitting it up, you just want to see those ones. You can use the in operator to do that. So you can see that all the values that we're getting here are only from these three locations, not from any other place. Okay, so now we're now talking about the not operator. Remember, I said it's a bit different from the not, from this not equals to. Okay, so now we want to see the shoppers that are not in these three locations. Okay, we've seen the people that are in these three locations, but we want to exclude these three locations. We are not interested. You can just bring the not operator back and say you want to see only the shoppers that are not in these three locations. So it will exclude these three locations from your results. You won't see any of the three locations. You'd only see these three locations. Okay, so that's what makes the not operator different from the not equals to operator. It's a bit more expansive. Okay, we'll also talk about when you're talking about nulls, you use the null, you use the not operator to check for values that are not null. So it's a bit more expansive than the not equals to operator, like I said. So yeah. Okay, now between operator. So let's talk about the between operator. Second, let me share this, guys. Yeah. So the between operator, basically, just like how it sounds, basically what it does is we are trying to check values between your column. You're trying to see, for example, date values. You are trying to see from 1st of October to 2nd of May, or so. Sorry, 1st of October to 2nd of November, or from January to December. Or you're trying to even check within values, like, okay, you want to see values that are within 1 to 10. Okay, only those people. You can actually use your between operator. It checks for values between a particular range of data that I have given it. So Let me see. Let's see. There was a date. Okay, there's no date here, but we can use, let's use, okay, no problem. There's no date. So let's use this. Let's use this as our example. I need to comment this guy out. Okay, let's pick this guy as our example. So now we said between operators, right? So now another thing is that between operators work best for you for dates and numerical values. Okay, you won't be able to use it for text values like strings and markers. So the operators also have what they can work on. It's just like you are trying to, you can't use the less than operators. You can't use them for string values. You can't say you want to see values that are less than the location LA or AM. It will give you an error, okay, because it's expecting numerical feedback. So it won't give you that. So the between operator now, let's use it for, okay, our orders, for example. So let's say where location, no, sorry, where orders is between let me see, let's pick a value. Let's use our 20. And orders sorry, 30 and this, let me say this. Yeah, so we have created our between operator. So it's what we've told it that it should give us orders between 20 and 30 for all of these variables. We said select the first name, gender, orders, and locations, where orders are between the range of 20 and 30. So you are not you won't see any order that is less than 20 or more than 30. Okay, so basically that's what the between operators does. You use it to check a range of values. You're comparing a range of values, saying, okay, give us from point A to point B, whatever it is you can get within that range. That's the query I want. Kindly give me that query. So once you tell SQL to do this, mySQL to do this, you get exactly that. So that's the long and short of between operators. You use them to get values within a range. And it works best with numerical values and date values. So you can compare, say, just like I did here, 20 to 30, or you're comparing dates of 1st of November to 2nd of November or 31st of December. Either one, you can use that and check. I wish we had actually a date column here, but we don't have one. So, but it's just the same thing. You just, once you create what your query saying, this is what you want to see, and you use your where clause, then you select the column and use this between operator, okay? And it uses the and operator because you are picking within 2 points. So you must have your start point and your end point. And now the like operator. So the like operator is used to search. So for example, if you go to your web browser or your mobile app and you search for something, you're searching for mySQL, this is exactly how it works, okay? Because you're creating a database and telling it you want to see something. So depending on, just with some extra queries is why you don't, those ones are a bit more dynamic, but basically this is how it works, okay? It's just that there are a little bit of code added to it to make it see exactly what's maybe more dynamic in terms of what you're searching for. The like operator is used to search, basically. So you have a set of data and you are looking for a particular value in that data. You have this particular data we're using. I think it has about 1,000 if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's about 1,000. Yeah, see, it has 1,000 rows. So imagine if you have something that has probably 10,000, even 1,000, and someone tells you that you should get all the names that start with B or A. You now have to start scrolling one after the other, looking for all the names and start copying into an Excel sheet or something. That's going to take a whole lot of time. It's going to be very, very stressful. So the like operator is used to search. You can use it to search for values. You can say you are looking for a particular name. You can say you are looking for a particular letter. Okay. You can say you are looking for a particular number that should fetch that out for you. So let's just have a quick example here. Let's use first name. Okay. Let me say like. So the like operator has something special about it, because unlike the other ones that once you just put the value you want, either since we're looking for a string, we put it in quotes. If you're looking for a number, you just write it out. Like operator uses this %sign to search. Okay, so this is what you do if you are trying to use a like operator. You are trying to search. So you have to use this %sign. You can either use both or you use one, and I'll explain. So if we're looking for example, all the customers that their first name starts with F. Okay. Now, this is what you do. You say like, and then you put in quotes, you put F, first letter, then you are telling it, basically you're saying, look for any first name that starts with F. I'm not bothered about who the person is, but the person's name should start with F. Whatever the other letters are, you are not concerned. You just want it to start with F. So that's basically what this %sign does. It looks for it's negating the other strings, okay, in that text. It's just saying you have picked just one character saying F. I want to see F. Everybody that starts with F, give it to me. That's all I want. So if you run this script, as you can see, everybody that it has generated for us have their first name starting with F. The first letter in their name, okay, starts with F. And that's exactly what it's going to generate for you. It's not going to bother about whatever is after that. You can be a bit more specific. You're looking for, let's pick a name here. Okay, let's see if the other people that their name starts with F and R. Okay, let's run F and R. So we can see. Now you've told you that search the first names that have the first letter F, second letter as R. I don't care about whatever is after that. Just give me that, okay? And it's give you all of that. So the like operator is the search operator. You use it to search within your column for particular values within your column, okay? So also, like I said, you can use single, double. So you can also use a single, okay? And say, let's use S. Give me all the names, the first names that ends with the letter S, okay? I'm not concerned. We just want to see all the people that their first names, all these customers that their first names end with the letter S. So if you run this script, you can see all of them, okay? Remember, this %sign comes first now, okay? And then the letter they are looking for, the key you are looking for comes after it. So you are saying, regardless of whatever the person's name is, once the person's name ends with the letter S, I need to see that person, okay? And mySQL will give you that. Let's look for, okay, let's add I, okay? and say, we want to say all the customers that their names end with the letters IS. Okay, let's do that. So you can see, if you look at the script, everybody here has their name ending with IS, regardless of what letter starts from the beginning and what letter ends it. Okay, so you can also use a double. So basically what you're saying now is, irrespective of whatever it is, just give me anybody, whether starting or ending. I just want to see someone that the name has IS. So you can see the list is more now. Once the person's name has IS in it, whether at the beginning, at the end, MySQL will pull it for you. Wherever the person's name has IS, the person has IS in their name, it will bring it. But you can also be specific. I think, okay. This is Cristiano. Well, let's add Cristiano here. So let's search for Cristiano. So what we have told MySQL now is search this column, search this table using this column, and look for anybody that the person's name has Cristiano in it, whether male, whether female, as far as you can find these letters in this exact order. Okay, it will not give you someone, like when we use IS, it did not give us someone whose name has SI. No, it must be IS in that order. So I told it, give us someone whose name is Cristiano. Let's reduce the Cristiano. I think, okay, let's do Chris like this. Let's see if we find anyone whose name is like that. Okay, it's still Cristiano we have. Okay, so basically there are three ways to use it. Is that you use it as a single, done. So the like operator could be okay. Okay. Let me use characters. Okay, so if you use this, like I explained earlier, if you put the character before the percentage sign, you are looking for the first characters or character. If you put it after the part, you are looking for the last characters. Then if you put it in between two percentage signs, you're looking for all characters that have, you're searching for everything. So that's how the like character works. Okay, it's used to search. You use it to search your data sets for values within it. You can also use it, not just, it's not just for strings or just for varchars. You can also use it for numbers. So let's do like 20 and change this to others. You can see. So now what we just told MySQL is that it should give us all the others, search for anyone that has an order of 20 and to give you, okay? So you can use it to search, okay? Within your date. You can use it for dates. If you have a date column and you want to search for values within a particular date, okay, you want to see, you're not sure of what those values are for that date. You can say, okay, give me anything that is within this date, or you just want to see if that date even exists. You can use your like operator for that. Now, null. So let's talk about the null operator. So I don't know whether the person that took your Excel talk about when you have blank values in your data set. So one of the perks, one of your assignments, primary assignments as a data analyst, is to clean your data. So you have things like missing values. You have a data set of 2 million rows, but some of the values will not be there. Okay, you have missing values. Most data sets have that. They have missing values. So, and which, if not properly taken care of, would affect the outcome of your result, and would most likely give you wrong data, and your analysis will most likely be wrong. So just like that too, in SQL, you have some values that could be null, okay? Maybe due to input error, or that column, the person, there's actually no even value for that particular column as at the time the data was being generated to you. And you need to filter them out. You want to see those values that are null, okay? So unfortunately, this table I have here doesn't have a null value, but we'll still use this we'll still use this operator, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, let's pick this. Yeah, it's null. Even just do a select all on the table. Select all from orders. Okay, this is how we select all. So we can see, I think with the limit that's being showed here, we don't actually have any missing values. All our rows, I think they are all filled. So, but nonetheless, I'll show you how it works. So basically, you can use this operator to filter out values that are null from your table. Okay, that are null from the table. You want to see your blank values. That's those columns, those rows that don't have any value. You want to see them. You can use the null operator to do that. So let's let's use ID. Let's use this. I say ID, where ID is null. That's all you just write. You just want to see, okay, where ID is null. So if you do this, you get a query, you get an answer, blank. Why is it blank? There are no null values on this table. You've told Ask SQL to give you the whole table, and should give you the value of ID that is null, okay? Because all the rows on the ID column have a value, okay? There's no null value on any of them, so you get a blank value, okay? Now, this is just all. You just pick the column you want to see and say null. You can also add other things to it and say, and first name, sorry, first name is equal to Chris. Okay, so for example, now with these are written and we're saying, give us all the IDs of the customers that are null, but their first name is Chris. This could be as a result of you have a customers table. You are trying to do a loyalty reward for your customers, okay? And the customer calls the customer care center and says, he's been one of your very good shoppers. My name is Chris. How come I'm not one of the people that you are doing loyalty for, okay? And they send it to you as an analyst, okay, that let's give us all, there's someone has called and we need you to check the database for these customers. The person whose ID is null. That means maybe because the person that is doing the customer satisfaction loyalty is just speaking, you could have plenty cases, okay? But the person is speaking it based on the customer ID. And okay, that means for the fact that that person's name didn't show, maybe person's ID was not imputed, it's null, it's not on that table. So you check, you are going to check now if there's anybody like that. If you run it, you get a blank, okay? This might not be the only issue you might be why the person is not, name is not showing. You might need to do further investigation into your table, but this is just for the benefit of the examples that we're running. So now we want to see all the customers that are on this our table, that their IDs are not null, but their first name is Chris, if there's anyone like that. So you can also use the not operator here. Now we are saying we don't want to see the ones that their values, we want to see the ones that their values are not null, opposite of null. Okay, that means that table has a value. Okay. Let's run this. If there's anybody. Okay, it's giving us an error. What's the error? What's the error? It's supposed to give us blank. So what's wrong with my syntax? Okay, it's not letting us. Hold on. Why are you not taking and oh, sorry, I made a mistake. It's supposed to be, sorry about that. That was my error. It's not null, not is null, sorry. So if we run this, it should give us values. So what we said is that it should give us all the customers on this table. Select all, give us everything where the ID is not null. So you can bring the not operator here also. You're saying is not null now, okay? And their name, their first name is Chris. So you can see the result we have, okay? These are the two people we have. They have values, valid IDs, okay? And their names start with Chris and their values are not null. So that's basically what the is null operator and how you can use also the is not null operator, okay? You are looking for values that are missing, the rows that don't have values in a particular column, okay? So you use the is null operator to do that. And okay, finally, today, the last clause we have is called order by. The order by, just like what is just as simple as it is. You are creating an order. So we do, let me see one of our queries that we could use here. Okay, let's bring this guy down. Okay, so we ran this query and we said we want to see the values, okay, that are not, that means the location values that are not in this city. So let's include ID. Let's include ID, the table ID to this query, to this script, just for the example. So we have our ID, okay? So the order by clause, basically use it to order, ascending, descending order, okay? So let's create it order by, okay? Now, we can see that our ID is even properly ordered, okay? It's giving us all the value in ascending order, okay? So, but we want to see them in descending order. So you use DESC. Yes. So once you see all the IDs in descending order from bottom up, the order will inverse. So bottom to top. Okay. So for descending order, you use this syntax, DESC for descending. For ascending, you use ASC for ascending. So this is what we want to use. Okay. If you run this now, you can see the IDs have been flipped. It starts from 1000 downwards. Okay. So you can use this. So basically what the order by clause does is it just creates an order for you, nothing else. It just creates an order of how you want a particular row or a particular column. And you can actually add more than one, just like your where clause can take multiple columns. Your order by can also take multiple columns. So for example, we want to order it by in descending order by ID and let's say orders. Okay, you can see what I did there. I just put a comma and added my next column that I wanted to put. So you can do it for two of them. Okay, so it's now going to filter based on the two of them. Okay, you have added two columns. Okay, so it's going to filter in descending order for the both of them on the value. So now it's going to be a bit scattered. Basically, it's going to pick one of them, the one it can actually filter by best. But because we're using numbers here, so you can see that it's not looking so effective because we're using numbers. Let me first do this one. So we did a descending order with our orders table, with our orders column. If we run an ascending order on this, okay, you can see how the ascending order goes. So now let's add a column. Let's use first name, though that won't really give much. Let's use ID again, because you are running with two digits normally. So if the descending order here is 100 and the descending order here, the value at a particular point. Okay, let me even just run it so that you see what I'm trying. Let me explain with this. Let me just run ascending order here first. Okay, so now why you'd get the result we got earlier was because you can see here that ascending order, the least number we can have here is 1. But for the ID column, it's changed. Okay, the ID column here is 103. So if we put both of them, these two values together, okay, if you put these two values together, you'd find out that SQL will just either pick one or just give you something random, because you are quote unquote stressing the brain of your system, because you are expecting it to give you both of them in descending order, but you're forgetting the fact that the values here won't be the same. It cannot give you 100 here and give you maybe 1000 here, where the maximum value here is 1000. That means you are going to be misinterpreting your data. So that's why you didn't get everything sequentially in a descending order. But if we add something like location, I think we should get something. Yeah. So we can see location now. We said it should give us both of them ascending order. So you can see it will do its best to give you as best as can. So you can see A has come up. Okay. So it's just about how your data looks like and what parameters it is that you're trying to actually use to do your filtering. Okay. Though what I do most times, or maybe nature of my work, I don't tend to filter with too much variables so that I get exactly what I want. So most times you might have to just order by one particular value, though you can put as much as you want, depending on what type of data it is that you're filtering. And SQL will do its best to give it to you in the most concise way it can. That's all for today. And share this SQL sheet with you guys on Slack, like right now, so at least you can have a look at it. So let's have questions for the next 10 minutes before we call it a day. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Abu. Okay, thank you for the session. A quick one. I remember you said there are times, of course, there could be missing values in the data. So as a data analyst, what do you advise? Because, okay, so that's just the reading.
Okay. So you have missing values in your data. There are a whole lot of approaches to it. One, you can remove those rows that have missing values if they are not too much. Okay. So you look at those rows that have the missing values. You can choose to exclude them from your analysis. Another approach to it is, especially when you're working with values that are probably numerical. One of the things you could do to your rows with missing values is you do what we call an aggregate sum. So what you do is you get the mean value. You get the mean value of that column. That's the total mean. You understand what mean is, right? So you get the mean, and then you put that mean value as the missing values. So you get an aggregate, you get a mean value, and then you put the mean value as those missing values. You could do any of the two, depending on the data that you're working with. Okay, depending on what you're also what your expected results are. You could either do without those values. Look at the table and you find out that, wow, I have a table of 1,000 rows and I have maybe 50% of it is missing. That's actually not even good data. So you could even probably go back to your data source and tell them, I need this data, as in I need it proper. I can't do anything with this. But if maybe out of your 1,000, maybe you have maybe 100 or 50, why not? You can do without it. You can also use that value and just create the mean values. If it's more of a numerical thing, just create the mean values and replace it with that. So it's all dependent, and like it's all dependent on what you're trying to achieve. Okay, you can even look at, maybe it's just a particular row that's giving you a particular column that's giving you a problem. It's not spread out across your data. Maybe it's not multiple columns. Okay, you can decide to drop a particular column. You find out that you don't need that particular column for your analysis. So why are you stressing yourself? You let it go. Okay, so but one of the steps in analyzing, cleaning your data, is that you must, before you even start your analysis, you must clean your data. So it's a must that you check for missing values, you check for null values in your data. Either you're using an Excel spreadsheet, a CSV file, or you're even talking to a database. You must, before you start your analysis, you have to process your data. And one of your first steps is to check if you have any missing or null values. Are we clear?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a quick question there. Sorry, this is my first session. Yeah, I saw the query that you wrote on is it by, yeah, the last one.
The last query.
Order by, yes, order by that operator. Order
Yes.
by. Order by. Then there are three parameters there: orders and location. So we can add a third one as well.
Yes, you can add as much as you want.
And then we'll just
remember that. So here's the thing about it. The order by is just like the where clause. It's a sort of filter.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever it is that you're filtering by, okay, is what it will give you.
All right.
You understand? So, but when you are trying to order, you also have to understand that whatever it is you are ordering by, the values of those columns, okay, is not going to change. So for example, the ID here is 754.
Okay.
And the orders here, this person's order is 9.
Okay.
If you are ordering by these two, that you want both of them to be in ascending order, SQL will pick one for you.
Okay.
Okay. It will automatically pick one for you that it will order by an ascending. Okay. That will best suit what you need.
Okay.
So that's just basically it. But you can add a third column if you want to get much more extension.
All right. The other observation that I have is that in some of the queries you end with a semicolon, and with others you don't end with a semicolon. So which type of query ends with a semicolon, and which type does not end with a semicolon?
Okay, that's a good question. So basically the semicolon is to close the query.
Yeah.
That means I'm done. Okay, it's best practice and standard practice. Most programming languages use a semicolon to end that query. Okay, so that's just it. If I didn't put them in some, not because I hadn't, because just for practice and all of that. So basically, if I want to run this now, I tell SQL is just knowing that, okay, I'm not adding anything to this again. Okay, so basically the semicolon just tells MySQL that this query is closed. Okay, when I do this, maze is open-ended. I might want to add something else to it. So SQL is just, I'm not telling I'm done. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's just it. It's not a bad thing, neither is it a good thing. It's just you being in the middle. So that's just it. So you can choose to end semicolon or not. As far as your query runs, okay, even there are some platforms that you get to use. Some, because for this workbench is a tool that lets you, a visual tool, a UGI that lets you talk to the database. So there are some of these tools that some of them don't, if you put a semicolon, it will not go to flag it. So it just depends on the one you're using. But here you can either use it or not. MySQL workbench doesn't matter. But standard practice for most programming languages. So basically they have a semicolon. They have an action that tells the system that I'm done. This is the end of the query. So that's just what the semicolon does.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm seeing some questions here that some people have issues installing the MySQL. So I tried. My week was a bit busy, so I spoke to some people and we would solve some. For every application you want to install, please check your system requirements. It could be one of those things that is actually stopping you. Please check your system requirements. Also, I always advise people try and make sure that your internet is as fast as you can, because if there's break in between, you could have downloaded maybe a corrupted file or something, and Windows might not necessarily tell you that. So you could do either of those, but please check your system requirements, because it's a straightforward process. You are not even doing anything. You're not adding any line of code to it to function, or going to OpenCMD or anything. So it's pretty straightforward. With the video I shared, I think it should be as easy as it, but check your system requirements, check that and see maybe there's any firewall. Then it always gives you some errors. So sometimes, like I told one of the participants last week when I chatted with her, like, if you have an issue, one of the things about being a data analyst or a programmer is that if you meet most of us are in our circles, they'll tell you, make Google your friend. You don't work in isolation as an analyst or someone in IT. You're not in IT. That's why they call us, you see here, IT hub. We're a hub. So you can go online. you check, there's a popular site, Stack Overflow. You get answers on Stack Overflow. You Google, put that error you find. Even when you're writing a script on SQL and you are stuck, you can Google, even if it's on Excel, and there's an error. There's always an error. You can write that error on Google. You get an answer. You get a feedback. Okay. And that's why we created the Slack community also. There's probably someone in your Slack team that has done it, probably had that error, and the person was able to fix it. Okay. So chat in the group. That's why the community is there. Talk to everybody there that, please, I have so and so. Someone will most likely have done it. Okay. And if you are still stuck, you still have us. You can chat to myself. You can chat with Isa. Okay. Either ways, we'll find a way to get you sorted out. Please check your system requirements. Okay. So if your system requirement is the problem, you might need to download a previous version, not the latest version. And I think if you check the community, there's a particular PDF that takes you back as far back as 10. I'll check it and see if I can share it on the Slack group. As far back as I think 10 versions back, that might be able to suit your system. Okay. So that could be part of the problem. So I think that's that about that. So do we have any other questions? And yeah, also the assignment given last week was, I saw some questions, some people asking where we submitting. No, it was just for a sort of exercise that let's all have an idea of what we're doing. At least let's get our hands dirty into scripting and all of that. I will share this with you. I would also share the table with you. I'll also share the table with you so you could have like a hands-on practice. It's not basically labs, it's just practice, because the thing about anything in life basically is the more you do, the more you learn. So if you just come to this session now and you stay for 1 hour or 2, and then you leave it till next week Saturday, you might not actually get along like every other person is. So that's it. So any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Habib. Gladys.
Okay.
Yeah, first I want to thank you for today's class. I really learned a lot. Then secondly, I want to ask this, why the double hash sign before order by?
Why?
The double hash sign before order by. Yes, why did you put it there?
I was just trying to cancel out the code so that SQL doesn't read it.
Okay, if you want to cancel a code, I don't want SQL to read it.
Okay, so yeah, there's something they call canceling out this code. But unfortunately, like I said last week, sorry about that, everybody. I'm used to using SSMS. So normally this is what I'm supposed to do in SSMS. Just use my dash, my minus sign. But I think this is what they do in MySQL. I'm not sure. That's the truth. I will find it out for you guys. So basically, when you want to comment out or you want to create a comment, because at a particular time when you are deep into scripting, you might have more than 2 or 3 scripts, okay, that you want to run. So you can actually just do comments out. So when you're commenting out, just hold on. When you're commenting out a particular script, when you comment out a particular script, the machine sees it as a text, as like an instruction not to read it. Because if you don't comment it out and you run the script, the machine would read that script and give you an error. So it's always best for you to actually comment out. So, but MySQL is, like I said, there are a whole lot of tools you can use to actually access MySQL, SQL, Oracle. There are a whole lot of tools available. The one I'm actually used to, I could just do the dashes, and then you find out that this, you can see this is in blue. So all the syntax and operators that you might need to use, once it's a value that SQL uses, any programming language, they will highlight it for you. You understand? It will be highlighted so that you don't get to use it in anything that you're creating, so that you don't get errors. So for example, now if I write sum, you can see that sum is not in black, it's in gray. Okay. If I use in, it's in blue. Okay. But if I write, let's write my name. it's black. So everything you see in black, okay, SQL doesn't recognize it. You are the one that you have to give it a value according to SQL. So, but if you now want to comment it out and say, okay, SQL, this thing doesn't have any meaning. I'm just leaving it there so that whoever it is that wants to reuse my code or my script will be able to see that, okay, this is what I'm trying to actually do here, because you can have a whole lot of script and I come and look at it and I don't even understand what you're trying to do, but you keep a comment.
Okay, now
so,
I understand.
So apparently it's even the hash symbol. I'm just saying it now. To create comments, you use the hash symbol on MySQL. So for example, that was in, right? So if you do this and you say, what are we trying to create here? Let's say use in operator. So SQL is supposed to actually not read it. So I was just trying to comment it out so that SQL understands that that particular thing I'm doing is not a script. It's just a comment. Any other questions?
Okay, Mr. Abib, sorry, I know this does not really relate, but just a general question as a data analyst. I wanted to confirm, at this stage of development of technology, is Stata still relevant? The software Stata?
Okay, yes and no. So in terms of relevance, it depends on where you work. Yeah, basically, that's just it. Where you work and the technology they use. So you'd go online and see some jobs and they want you to use SATA. Sometimes they want you to use R. Sometimes they just want you to use Excel. Sometimes they need you to be hand depth in SQL. Sometimes they just want someone that uses Python. So it depends on the organization. It also depends on their technology, on what they are comfortable with. So you can't say something is irrelevant. And you can't say something is relevant. It all depends on who the business is and what they are using. So it's what they are using that will not determine what you are going to use. Or then now also depends on how well you can, okay, you guys are using setup, but I have something better I can use. I'm very vast in Python and I can deliver it in Python. And if they agree, fine. Okay, even as much as low as SPSS is as old as old. Okay, there are still some jobs you see online. You apply, see some jobs. Go on LinkedIn, you see some jobs. You see SPSS. That's what they want. They want someone that's very vast with SPSS. They have their reasons. Okay, so it's up to you to know as much of these analytics tools as possible. Not just cram everything in your head, but at least have an idea. So there's SQL, okay, that you can use to talk to your database. I mentioned that you also have unstructured data when you talk about NoSQL. Some companies, their data are actually in JSON format, and they need you to know NoSQL as a data analyst. You will work with that. Some, in terms of your visualization tools, you might be very good with Power BI, and then the company says, oh, sorry, all our, what do they call it? We can't afford, we are not a Microsoft enclosed, but we prefer Tableau. Maybe because the person that was previously there was using Tableau. And that's what they needed to use. Okay. So it could be Tableau. And they say, you have to use Tableau. So you pick up those, there are a whole lot of tools available. So what I always advise people is try and pick the essentials. You can't know everything. That's a fact. You can't know everything. But pick the essentials you need. You need to be vast in Excel. Knock Excel dead. Understand Google Sheets. Wow. Know how to do it in both Excel and Google Sheets. If you have that, thumbs up. You understand SQL, okay? You understand SQL. You understand the syntax around. So that means if someone gives you MySQL, you can hit it. Someone tells you Oracle. Yes, you don't know Oracle very well, but it's because you understand the general structured database queries, okay? You understand structured query language. You understand it. So you just hit it up and okay, it's Oracle, don't worry. I have an idea of CSQL or SQL, and you pick it up, and at least you are ready to learn extra things. Okay, but at least you can use it. Fine. If someone comes tomorrow and says, okay, it's NoSQL that they are using, no, you have an idea, you can use it a bit. You understand that, okay, there's Cassandra and there's a Cosmos DB. You pick it up. You can't take everything in your head, okay? But pick exactly what it is that you can use and you need. So it involves a whole lot of reading and a whole lot of catching up to the new technologies, okay? A whole lot of it. If you are actually in the IT space right now, there's so much disruption going on, like so much. Microsoft and the likes of Google, even Amazon, they are doing so much right now that you need to be as vast as you can. So you have to be reading, you have to make sure that you are in tune with the latest technology. I can give you for an example now that, okay, most of these in the next 5 to 6 years, every organization will have to move to the cloud. You have, as an data analyst, you have to understand that space. How does it work? Okay, if I need to get data from the cloud, yes, it's still the same thing. You are going your database, your SQL and everything. You get, but it's on the cloud. It's no more physical. So you have to understand how to create your pipelines and some other things. There's a whole lot of description going on. Okay, so now in the age of even remote work, where you can be in Nigeria and working for a company in the US. Before, you needed to travel to the US to do that, but now there's remote jobs available. So you need to be vast in technology. You have to be in that space. Okay, so that's why we created that Slack community. Whatever it is, it's not necessarily just about this. We're not closing it after the program. Okay, it could be any new technology that is available, something you just saw somewhere, you read. Share it, okay? Or you don't understand it, share it. Someone in the group might have seen it, done it, and the person understands. They tell you, oh, this. Okay, this is how you go about it. So please, after this practice, I'll share this sheet with you. Have a look at it, okay? If you have any questions, you can just chat on Slack. I might not respond immediately. I always say that. I'm not a phone hog, actually. That's one of my problems. So, but immediately I see it, I'll attend to whatever it is you ask. I'll do my best to give you the best answers I can, okay? But while you are waiting, you can also go online, search. Okay, you have this, you are not sure about this, search. You see numerous people. You'll be surprised that thing that you think, oh, wow, this thing might look impossible, someone has also faced it, and there's an answer for it online. So that's that about that. Any other questions? Hello? Do we have any other questions? So since we don't have any other questions, I think that's a wrap. So we'll see same time tomorrow. So we'll have hopefully another interesting class tomorrow, and we'll move deeper and deeper into our SQL knowledge. Thank you all for coming. Looking forward to see you guys tomorrow. Do have a great day.
Okay.